Hello, this is Wilfred from Our Faith is Our Victory broadcast. We're talking about the days and the times that we're living in. We're definitely living in the last days. We see wars and rumors of wars as spelled out in 2 Timothy 3. We see children standing up to their parents, being disobedient to their parents. We see pandemics and pestilences and floods. We're seeing floods in China. We're seeing floods in Germany and floods in New York, in the US, like we've never seen before. Unprecedented floods and volcanoes in Indonesia. We're seeing earthquakes. And the thing about all of these things is that the frequency at which it happens and the intensity that it happens at is on a much bigger scale than what we've seen 100 years ago, or 400 years ago, or 500 years ago. So someone might say, yeah, it's been happening for 500 years, and that's no indication that it's the last days. The frequency and the intensity, it's similar to a woman giving birth. The birth pains intensifies, and the frequencies of those birth pains is increases as well. So we're definitely living in the last days. We have this pandemic, this COVID-19 pandemic, and I'm telling you, friend, after this, there's just going to be another thing, because we're living in those times. God works in times and in seasons and in dispensations, and we're living in that dispensation. Prophecies has gone out about it, and the prophets in the Bible spoke about it. And 100 years ago, people prophesied about it. 50 years ago, people prophesied about it. About 30 years ago, 40 years ago, Kenneth Hagin, Oral Roberts, John Wilkerson, all of these guys prophesied about what is coming, and it is coming now. It is starting to happen. The birth pains are there, and the power of God is getting ready to be poured out on this earth like we've never seen it before. The Bible talks in Joel, the book of Joel, Joel 2. Joel 2 says that God will restore everything that the cankerworm, that the palmer worm, that the caterpillar, and that the locust has eaten. And then it says, and afterwards God says, I will pour out my spirit on all flesh. We are living in those days where God is going to pour out his spirit in a way like we've never seen it before. And we've got to get ready for it. The church is going to have to get ready for it. Your family members are coming to Christ. Your people in your life that you have been praying for years, friends and families and acquaintances, I'm telling you, they are coming. They are coming. God's working in their hearts already. The Holy Spirit is already speaking to them. The Lord of the harvest, which is Jesus, he is getting ready to bring them in. And Satan, the Bible speaks in 2 Corinthians 2, the Bible speaks about how Satan has blinded the eyes of unbelievers, and we need to pray. We need to pray that the ability for Satan to blind unbelievers to the glorious truth of the gospel should cease. We need to stop his ability to blind our family members, to blind our acquaintances, to blind our friends, to blind our loved ones to the glorious truth of the gospel of Jesus Christ. And then he says we should pray that the Lord of the harvest should send in laborers in order to speak to them. They might not listen to you, they might not listen to me, but God knows who they will listen to. And our prayer should be that God would send in the laborers, that God would send in that colleague, that God would send in that friend, that God would send in that stranger